And she was like, because her goal she'd been focused on these last 6 months was like to get $2 million in a day. So she messaged me this morning. It was like, I hit the $1 million in a day.
To be in a country that's so diverse with all these different mixed cultures, when it was pretty clear and obvious that people were escaping their countries, coming here for new promise and new opportunities, it's really interesting that people want to distance themselves from what makes us great.
You typically one new piece of information or insight well implemented from your next level. One of the things, like a tradition I'm creating with my kids and my family, is that every year we want to bring in Christmas in a different country.
Can I be part of the family? I'm trying to go on a trip. Welcome to another episode of the On the Pursuit podcast. We interview 6, 7, 8, even 9-figure earners. Try to get an understanding of their story, some of the obstacles they went through, what helped to and contributed to the success. So we can bring that information back to you so you can skip some steps and get to your success faster. On today's episode, man, I feel appreciative, grateful. It took a lot to get to this moment. And I say that because this individual is someone that I have admired from afar. I feel like we family, because I feel like I see him every single day on the internet. You know what I'm saying? The king of client attraction himself, Mr. Marquel Russell. Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
This is amazing, bro. So, Marquel and I talked a bunch of times in DM, text messages. He been on the virtual podcast. And we even talked about like some mindset stuff and stuff like that. So, today is a great day. It's a great moment, man. But first off, you came off an amazing trip, bro.
Yeah, bro, I did.
That trip. I mean, I would love to hear more about it. Like, it just seemed life changing, man. You was in Morocco, spent some time in Paris. You had the full garb on. You spent some time in the Sahara Desert. You know what I'm saying? You was amongst your people. What did that energy feel like? You know what I'm saying? What was the environment like?
Man, the environment was super. Morocco was different, man. It was super laid back. You can see all, because like one thing that it didn't even click for me was that, because I posted a picture on Facebook, and my guy Freddie, shout out to my guy Freddie, Urban Intellectuals, he heavy on the African American history, right? You know, like on tools and all that. And he was like, make sure you ask them about the Berbers and their role in the development of Morocco and so forth.
So you said the Berbers.
Berbers, B-R-B-E-R-E-S, right? And I was like, interesting. So I looked it up, and the Berbers, you familiar with the Moors?
Mm-hmm.
So the Moors, black people, they're the ones who like conquered Spain and things of that nature. They don't teach us that in black history,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So when I looked it up, and I was like, wow. So, and another thing that I was wondering, because most of the people in Morocco, they look like Arab in terms of skin complexion and stuff like that. So the Arabs actually conquered Morocco at one point, kind of like Egypt, right? So like Egypt was all like dark-skinned people initially, but of course, once they conquered and things of that nature, things started to change once different things get in the water, right? So it's a similar thing in Morocco. So me learning that history and things like that, because if you go there now, it doesn't look like that, because while we were there, I might have seen 5 dark-skinned black people.
That's crazy.
Right.
But it's Africa.
Yeah. Right? So you wonder, like, man, how in Africa? But everybody's look Arab. But the interesting thing is our driver who we had, he's Berber, and he also identifies as black. But his skin complexion is, he would look more like he's from Arab descent.
Yeah, that's crazy, man, because a lot of culture, creativity, comes from the melanin, you know what I mean? The pigmentation. The way that we interact, the vibrations, even the way that we communicate is through rhythms. You know what I'm saying? Frequencies. It's like, I don't know where it attributed from, but it's like people want to distance themselves from that, even when some of them may come from that. You know what I'm saying?
100.
It's like they want to be us, but they don't want to be us. They want to take, share. They want to copy. They want to duplicate. They even want to be on the land, but they ain't trying to claim the people. They're not trying to claim none of the ancestry. They're not trying to claim any of the history. They want to erase all of it. But you even see it in America. Like, first of all, in my opinion, I don't even think America really got culture. The culture of America, the fabric of America is from other countries coming in here and blending the cultures.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, American culture, you could say it's Native American culture, right? But then Europeans came here, and then, you know, they had their influence. But if you really think about it, a lot of their influence was the influence that was native here.
Yeah.
And they just took it and adopted it. And, you know, they brought some of their traditions in here. But like a lot of, even in California, some of those places are still like, they're named, you know, Latin, Mexican. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of that influence.
Yeah.
So to be in a country that's so diverse, right, with all these different mixed cultures, when it was pretty clear and obvious that people were escaping their countries, coming here for new promise and new opportunities, it's really interesting that people want to distance themselves from what makes us great. That's what makes us great. If America just embraced the fact that, hey, listen, we got some people from this country, some people from this country, and you know what, we come together and we blend and we make, you know what I'm saying, like let's say someone from Japan is with someone from Jamaica, and it's like all these cultures are coming together. Like that's what makes us great.
Yeah.
But we don't even highlight that. It's like we just separation and division.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? To create control. So I mean, I'm saying all that to say you going there, at least me seeing it, I think it opens up a lot of people's eyes. Like, wow, okay, Marquel was in Africa, he was in Morocco, he was in Paris, but he's not just on a resort. He's experiencing. Oh, I can see that. Oh, damn, I might want to experience that. What does that feel like? That's why I was asking, what, you know, like what did it feel like? Like what was the energy like?
Yeah.
Because those are things that are unseen. But once you're there, you're really like ingrained. You can experience that.
Absolutely.
What are some other places that you travel with your family or solo?
So we've been to, you know, obviously we've been to Cancun, Cabo, Jamaica, St. Lucia. I've been to London before.
Yeah.
I spoke in London.
So you're an international speaker.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be in Nigeria in August too.
Speaking?
Yeah, I'm speaking while I'm there too.
Hey,
yeah, so it's gonna be dope. Yeah. So yeah, Bahamas. Yeah, Canada. I think those are the top ones that popped up.
Do you make it a point to intentionally travel, like annually or maybe quarterly?
So we did Costa Rica as well. So what I did, one of the things, like a tradition I'm creating with my kids and my family, is that every year we want to bring in Christmas in a different country.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
Right. So we did.
Can I be part of the family? I'm trying to go on a trip, bro.
You know, you be traveling. I know you be getting out there. I know you be getting out there. Travel. I think if exposure is everything, right?
Facts.
So I think travel is one of the ways for like in-depth exposure. It's another level.
It opens you up to so many things, and if you're someone that's just so used to like your city or your region or maybe just your country and like everything that's just kind of that you're already exposed to, it's just different when you go to different places.
100%.
Like one of my favorite places is like going to like Toronto.
Yeah.
Like you just go to Toronto, even though it's like in the same continent, it's different.
It's different.
You know what I'm saying? People talk different. Yeah. Mannerisms is different.
100%.
Cadences is different. You know, idiosyncrasies is different.
100%.
And it just feels different. When you literally like boom, I'm right there. Like I used to live in Boston, so going to Toronto was like an hour and like 10, 15 minutes. It was like I'm in a whole nother country. Yeah. It's like same thing if I go to Mexico, like hour, maybe two.
Yeah.
And my whole nother land.
Whole nother land.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it is important to it just opens up your world and allows people not to be so geocentric.
Yeah.
And actually, oh wow, this is what people think. Because if you stay in the same place, you get like very indoctrinated to what they want you to think, believe, and how they want you to move.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And I think one of the things, I was telling somebody the other day, is like America is not perfect, right? But I think when you go to a lot of places, you realize like actually how good we got it here in many different ways. Even though it's not perfect here, of course, all the stuff that goes on here, but it's like, man, you start realizing, man, we got it, made in a lot of ways, back in America.
That's a good point. And it also brings up the idea of, since we do have a good or the ability to go through things, but still have the opportunity to make something great of that. Like, yeah, you might have had a bad 10 years, or you might have been locked up, or maybe in a terrible accident, or maybe in an abusive situation, or maybe they have any parents. but you can still come out of that and
Absolutely.
make something happen.
100%.
Right?
Is your revenue stuck? If you're an entrepreneur and your revenue is stuck, you don't need to fix your products or services. You need new audiences to discover you more consistently. Podcast guesting is the ideal way to be discovered 24 hours a day by your ideal clients. And guess what? The more people that know you, the more people can flow you. Head over to podcastmasterypack.com and take advantage of your first or next podcast. Let's go.
So with that being the case, man, like, when we talk about you, for instance, a little bit more, what has allows you to create the company that you built and not be someone that's been trapped in the business? Because I think that's also key too, right? Is you're not trapped in the business, and not like you went to Morocco and the business ain't running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about how you became the king of client attraction, and then what has enabled you to build a business that's actually a business that can run without you having to be in that business.
So I think the first question, the king of client attraction. So I think the biggest thing, because I got introduced to all this through network marketing. So, and then that led me to learn about direct response marketing.
Yeah, but Marquel, they always be talking about, that's a scam. Network marketing is a scam, though.
So let's be clear. So I think some of them are scams, right? However, for me,
grab the mic a little bit.
For me, network marketing, it saved my life, man. I was in the streets when I got introduced to network.
So what does that actually mean? Network marketing saved my life.
So I got introduced to this concept called network marketing when their product was video phone technology. I was
like voice over IP?
Voice over IP, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I actually was in the streets like trapping before. I was in the club one night when I got introduced to network marketing. Because I used to be in the streets trapping during the day. And then I used to do club promotions as well.
You was moving some things.
Yeah, I was moving. I had
during the day.
Yeah.
And you was moving some other things at night.
100%. Yeah. So while I was in the club one night at one of my homies' mixtape release party, somebody walked up to me, pictures me on network marketing. We basically said, how many people got a cell phone? He thought I was somebody else. He knew my face. I knew his face, but he thought I was somebody else. And he was like, how many people got a cell phone? And I was like, everybody I know got a cell phone. And he was like, what if every time they paid their bill, you got paid?
That sounds good right now.
That sounds good right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bet. So he was like, I got some mentors. They're expanding this area, looking for some, leaders to expand with. We doing something Wednesday where they're going to break down all the details. So I'm like, bet. So I went to the event. It was at a home on Wednesday. It was like out in Riverdale. So I went out there. They broke the whole thing down. They was talking about how my man was already making money. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get her. I'm like, all right, bet. So I jumped in. I had to get a prepaid card because I didn't have a bank account and all that. So I had to get a prepaid card. I paid my way, pay half my brother way, and I jumped in. And they told me all you gotta do is get 2 people, and they'll get 2 people, and they'll get 2 people making all this money. And I was like, I'm gonna kill this because I know a lot of people. But none of my people weren't trying to hear it though.
Yeah. They didn't want to move no voice over IP.
Yeah, they weren't trying to hear it. So fast forward, one of the people who I did recruit sent me a link to this video series about how to grow your network marketing business without home and hotel parties. And they were basically teaching direct response marketing for network marketers.
So let's break that down. What is direct response marketing for people that are listening and watching? And they're like, yo, what does he mean?
For sure. So you got 2 types of marketing. You got traditional brand-based marketing, and you got direct response marketing. So traditional brand-based marketing is like what you see a Nike do or a McDonald's do. It's all about getting their name out there.
To like brand awareness.
To brand awareness. Direct response marketing is the goal is to get people in here, not necessarily get your name out there. So when you see somebody say, all right, go do this thing. So let's say, for example, if Coca-Cola had an ad and they were like, want to experience our new fat or our new sugar-free brand, blah, 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 go to newcoke.com and download XYZ or get access to it. That would be direct response. So now you're telling them to do a certain thing. You can track it.
So like a call to action.
Exactly. It's a call to action. Exactly. So it's like when you watch the podcast, hey, thanks so much for checking out this podcast. If you want to download our podcast checklist to show you how to grow your own podcast and, turn it into a revenue stream, go to blah, blah, blah.com. That would be direct response advertising. If somebody's just doing it, but no call to action, it's nothing they just want to get a name out, then that would be traditional brand-based market.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. So you got introduced to that.
Mm-hmm.
You invested the money.
Yep.
And then so I was like, yo, here's a link. Check out this direct response marketing, because your people wasn't trying to hear it.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
I signed up a couple people,
Yeah.
like not like what I thought it was gonna be.
So once you got this link, you kind of went down and got more information on how to utilize direct response marketing.
Yeah.
And then how did you take that, implement that, and then what happened after?
So I watched. It was a 4-part video series. I watched the 4-part video.
30 minutes each.
Probably like 20.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, something like that, right? So I watched it. Probably watched it a couple times, and then he sold his book for $40, $37, and he was like, if you want to grow your network marketing business, the best people to market to is other network marketers, because they already buy network marketing opportunities. So when I bought the book, he was like, hey, the best way to attract network marketers is to show them that you have value. And how do you show them you got value? You show them that you know how to grow your network marketing business. So he was like, you can actually take my book and then sell it to other network marketers, and I'll pay you $20 for everyone if you sell it.
That's genius, bro.
It's genius, right?
My man is like, listen, I'm gonna show you the game.
Yep.
And it's gonna work. But then how it works is, listen, you might have had no value, so take my value. Move these units. You gotta get broke off. We gonna break bread together. Mm-hmm. Your value is gonna increase. They're gonna see you as an authority.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then you gonna get what you want. I'm gonna get what I want.
Exactly. That's how I made my first money online. I was like, oh, this is on.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I started buying other courses. You kind of go down a rabbit hole when you first introduced to this. Mm-hmm. And then I started teaching what I was learning. I started like shooting little videos, like, hey, here's how I figured out how to work one lead. Here's how I had a 5 lead day. Here's how I had a team. So I just started teaching what I was learning. Yeah. And then people started reaching out naturally. Can I coach them? And
you just do that on YouTube, short form content?
Mostly on YouTube.
Okay.
Right. So mostly on YouTube. It wasn't, at this point, it wasn't like a long form content, short form. It was like just YouTube videos. Right.
Fact.
So I was doing that. And then people started asking me to like coach them. And then I realized like coaching was a thing. Right. And then I was like, I knew I was learning all kinds of stuff. So I was teaching everything I knew, but I was like, okay, what's the biggest thing that I can focus on? And the biggest challenge people was having was like, how do I get leads and clients specifically? So I went all in on teaching how to generate leads. And then naturally, as we grew, it was like, okay, people don't really want leads. People want clients. Because if you're getting leads, but they're not converting to clients, what's the point? Mm-hmm. So we decided to just go all in on that, because we grew the coaching business and learned how to get clients for a coaching business. So we just started teaching our client attraction process.
So as you're developing this business, when were you able to then create a business out of it in terms of like org structure, not being a solopreneur, not being able to stop moving and then the business stops?
Yeah.
So when in the process did you learn that? And then when did you start putting that together?
So I would say, man, it really took a minute, man. And I really didn't start clicking to maybe about 4 or 5 years, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, 3, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, where I really was like, okay, I gotta first of all the branding and everything was around Marquel Russell. So then we shifted from everything being about Marquel Russell to everything being about the system, right? Client Attraction University. So now we shifted that. And then I started bringing in other individuals who could help impact. So for example, I would say the most important hire, I believe, is like an executive assistant. Mm-hmm. So now you can start getting off customer support, things of that nature, so now you can focus in other areas. So then she came on as a VA. When I brought her on, I was like, hey, I don't want just a VA who's going to do tasks that I give you. I want a thinker who's going to find better ways for us to do stuff. Now she's our operations director 5 years later. Yeah. But that's where it started. And then we started looking at, okay, what's other areas? Because as an entrepreneur, a solo entrepreneur, all the output from the company is your output. But as a business owner, as a CEO, the output of the team is the output of the company. Well, it's your personal output. So you go from everything being about your output to now the team's output being your output. So how you manage and lead teams and so forth. So now that causes a whole new identity creation though. Because when you were doing everything, your whole identity was created based on you doing the stuff. So now when you're not doing stuff, how do you now get your identity? Yeah. So it goes through, it's like a whole transition process you got to go through.
So the client attraction piece right now, right? Because before, like you said, primarily you was sharing on YouTube. So now we got a bunch of different platforms, social media. We still got YouTube, but they got shorts now. We got podcasts. Obviously, we're on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can go live.
Yep.
You can speak.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You can go into a community.
Yep.
If you were starting right now with the information that you have, and you need to get like 100 leads quick,
Yeah.
you don't really have no money. Someone's watching or listening right now. How could they get their first like 100 leads?
Got it. So zero money.
Zero bread.
All right, zero money. Do they know anybody or?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they know some people.
So I would figure out.
They got a presence.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would do say know some people they got an audience, but they just don't have no money. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I would say, okay, what are they great at? So whatever they're great at and that they can teach people, I would tell them to put together.
Let's say, but let's give a little color.
Okay.
Tommy,
Okay.
name's Tommy. He's a painter.
Yep.
He paints and creates content, throws the content on social media.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. He got about 1,000 followers.
Perfect. So I would if I was him, I would do it like a masterclass or training where he's going to teach other painters how to get more exposure for their paintings, right? And I would do it for free. And then he probably either has followers on Instagram that are other painters, or he probably knows what these other communities are, what painters are in. And I would reach out and invite them onto the training for free so he can show them how to grow their business, how to get more exposure for their paintings using social media.
So Tommy should have a masterclass, workshop, webinar, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual, in person.
Virtual. I would just do it virtual.
All right. So,
It's free.
okay.
Because you got no money, you can use you get like a Zoom account.
Boom. So he's using a free Zoom. He has a workshop. Is it weekly? Bi-weekly?
I would do it one time at first.
Okay, so he's testing it out.
Yeah.
His season was good.
Yeah.
He got a couple of people. So he made a post on social media, and let's say Instagram. If he's gonna get other people to it outside of that, he's gonna go to like Facebook groups or something.
Facebook group. So Facebook group, wherever they're hanging out at. So let's say, for example, they're hanging out in a Facebook group. He may be in the Discord with other painters, like what other communities he's part of where other painters are hanging out.
Okay.
I would tap into those.
So he need to go with the traffic set.
Yep, 100%.
Find out other groups that might, have his ideal client that might be hanging out. Facebook group, maybe is another social media account.
Yep.
You can go in comments or something, and spend some energy, some time on there, and direct them to come to his commercial event. Yep. And then how's he getting people to it? So if it's a Zoom, is it a straight link? Is it a registration?
So I would give them a Zoom link. I would set up where they gotta register for it.
Okay.
So now he can collect the leads.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I would have it set up that way. And then now he's just sending people direct to the regular page. Nothing fancy.
Boom. So now when he's on here and he's teaching people, his painting and stuff like that, and then utilizing the direct response marketing that you shared towards, midway or what's his flow on there? Is he giving the CTA in the middle?
Yeah.
Is it in the beginning? Is it in?
So what I would do if I was him, I would say, hey, look, on this, I'm gonna show y'all exactly how to get more exposure to your paintings, and exactly how I built 1,000 person following on Instagram. And he just teaches process. There's 3 things I did. And number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this. So he just kind of teach his thing. And you say, hey, I got a few spots that I can bring on a couple clients to help you do this step by step by step. I'm gonna take on 5 people. The only way for you to be considered is for you to text this number. Because we ain't gonna have them go book a call because they don't got money for none of that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, text this number. So they text the number, then he get on the phone with them, and then he have a conversation with them about the program and how he's gonna help them. And then let's say he charges $5,000 for it or so.
So Tommy probably was making the 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You do this, you just make a quick 5 minutes.
He could. We gotta ask for it.
All right, so cool. Okay, so let's say Tommy asked for it. He had 20 people come in there. Let's say one person was like, yeah, Tommy, I want to rock with you. Boom, 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So now Tommy got a little bit of bread.
Now Tommy got a little bit of bread.
So now, let's say Tommy got some bread now. We're going to do the same thing, but what are we doing now that Tommy got some money?
So I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Also, I would create some content and push people to it. And I would also run some ads. So let's say for example, Tommy take 2,500 of the 5,000 and then dump it back in ads. And let's say he, because I think art is super untapped. So let's say he getting leads for like $10.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it. I have not really seen a lot of art entrepreneurs intentionally, and that's really good because one of my favorite artists is she's a model artist, Susai. I don't know if you
never heard of her.
Yeah, she's out of Brooklyn, but she doesn't have any digital products.
My boy. The only person
stuff.
who I seen ever do it was my guy Suresh. I'm not sure if you know Suresh. So he has an art offer, and he has an app and everything for artists. But I don't really see a lot of people doing it.
It's untapped. That's crazy. Tommy, if you're listening, Marquel just showed you how to get 100 people in there. Now you got this 5 bands. You're gonna take 2,500.
Drop it in the ads. Let's say you get $10 leads. So what's that $10? So you got 250 people that's registered. Let's say you get 30% of them to show up. So that's what 250. So 25% is gonna be 125. So let's say you get about 67 of them to show up.
And out of that, 10% is 6. It's 30 bands.
So let's say he gets 70 to show up. And then let's say he get out of those 70 to show up. Let's say he gets 7 to book a call.
Yep.
Let's say he end up talking to 4 of them.
True.
2 of them sign up.
Yeah.
So he made them another 10 bands. 10 bands.
That's crazy. Yeah. So Tommy, right now, Marquel gave you the organic strategy. He gave you pay strategy, and if you run an organic strategy, the money that you generate from that, you can then reinvest into the pay strategy.
Yep.
So and I think that's dope because I know there's people like, well, I don't have no money to start. Well, I'm afraid to spend the money. Well, ads don't work for me. I tried them before. So the king of client attraction just gave you a strategy of how you can generate some free leads without having to spend money on ads or spend money, or if you don't have any money or budget in general right now.
Yeah.
I think I remember when I had first, when I first discovered you, you had like you had a free client attraction ebook or something.
Yeah, the Payday Playbook.
Yeah. That joint's fire, bro. You know what I'm saying? That joint, listen, y'all need to get the Payday Playbook. There's a lot of information in there. You know what I'm saying? You break it down really, really, really good. Like you could follow that, run some ads
100%.
with a really nice, with a dope strategy
100%.
to get a real result.
100%.
You know what I mean? So what is your why would somebody want to give away something like that so valuable, like for free?
Because I live by philosophy, like if you want to show people you can help them, the best way to do it is by helping them. I mean, you give them good stuff. It's like it's easy to give away the stuff that's not valuable.
But what if somebody's like, but like Marquel, like that's my value. Like like if I give them away this, like how, like what am I gonna give them? Like how can I monetize it when I'm giving away my best stuff for free?
Well, if you think you're giving away everything, then you got to become more valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you got some work to do. If you like, okay, if you can give everything. So let's say, for example, if you can give away everything in a video, then it's like you need to become more valuable.
Facts.
Because it's like it's not the information that creates the transformation anyway. It's like the implementation. So you can give away the information, but now it's like it's the nuance when it comes to like customizing it to implement. Now some people are gonna take the free information and go implement it.
Yeah.
However, even those who take it and go implement it, by them getting the customization and the advisory from you, they can actually ramp up. But because you want to create the effect where it's like, man, if the free stuff is this good, I can only imagine what the paid stuff is like.
That's a good fact, bro. So I'm gonna get the Payday Playbook. I'm gonna run a play. I'm telling me I got the art. Matter of fact, if there's artists out there, it's a blue ocean for y'all.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You guys take advantage of this. Run a free class. Follow with a traffic set. Invite them to the free class. Go crazy in there. Give an offer.
Yep.
Take people from that class to a call. Figure out what they need. Put your offer out there. Close one or two of them.
That's it.
Yeah, and then reinvest and then recycle.
And do it again.
Yeah.
And then do it again and again and again.
So, what have been some of your challenges in growing your business? So, you obviously came from Trapaholics Anonymous, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
To finding a new category, a new system, network marketing, to then like figure out direct response marketing.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what his name was. I don't know if you remember the dude that you got the book with, but I mean, he was teaching you something while you was like, that's crazy. Like he was like, yeah, do this is how you do it. But while you do it, take my value and then resell my value. So you was getting a lesson right there.
Yeah.
So as you started to grow and develop your business, what were some of your biggest challenges at the beginning?
Man, I think at every level, my biggest challenge is me. I've always been my biggest challenge at every level.
I could vibe with that.
Yeah, because you always got to. It's another level of growth at every level. So that if we just use a monetary number to go from 6 to 7 figures, it's going to be another level of you required, right? And you go from 7 to 8 figures, it's going to be another level of you required, right? So your problem is never your problem. You are typically always your problem. At every level.
The man is very insightful. You know what I'm saying? I think this is why I really rock with Marquel. So all right. So let's break that down real quick. If you are the problem, how do you realize with more awareness that you are the problem that may be preventing you from getting to that next level? And then what were some of the things that you may have did that helped you get to a new level?
So I think the biggest thing is like having someone. So like when I was in network marketing, one of my uplines, he used to always say, he said, he asked me one time, he said, Marquel, if you could have everything if you could have everything you want in life, thinking the way you think, wouldn't you already have it?
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I still remember that to this day. So it's like, you typically one new piece of information or new insight well implemented from another level.
Say that one more time.
You typically one new piece of information or insight well implemented from your next level. So a lot of times people always ask me like, Marquel, what was the book that changed the game for you? Or what was the course? Or what was the coach? Or what was the event? And I was telling people it wasn't one thing. Like it was a series of like 2mm shifts.
Yeah.
Along the process that leads there, and it's still a series of like these 2mm shifts along the process.
Yeah, what I realize is sometimes when you run across new information or even a new person, sometimes the information that you need is already stored inside you, and they just unlock it.
That's exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I may have picked up something, let's say last year, and it didn't really hit me the way that, let's say, it hit me today.
100%.
But because I'm on a podcast with Marquel, he may have said something. He might have even did something, maybe the tonality of something that brings me back to when I picked up that information, and it just opens up.
100%.
It's kind of like when you plant a seed. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't gonna grow right away.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? It might take it's a full process. So you're like collecting this data, and like you said, like it's 2mm shifts. So in the back of my mind, that information could have been shifting the entire time. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, you meet that person, you hear a message, you catch a video. It could be a song, could be whatever.
Yeah.
And then the information just blossoms.
100%.
What's up, y'all? Listen, if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you juggling your email, your text messages, you don't have a CRM, you don't have any automation, you don't even have your social media posts scheduled, I have the solution for you. What you want to do is tap into the lead attraction system. This is an all-in-one system that's going to handle your text messaging, your email, your CRM, your invoices, get you paid, your digital products, your memberships, your courses, your funnels, and also it's an all-in-one solution. So you can get rid of all these other things. It's in one system. You pay one price every single month, and they also have a weekly office hours. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Tap into the platform and make sure that you grow your business. Lead attraction system. Grab the link below. Let's go.
So you seem very insightful, very self-aware. So internally, and I think you and I kind of talked about this stuff as well, like, you know, because I know like you go to therapy, you know what I'm saying? So what was the importance of having that component added to your journey as an entrepreneur, a business owner, a father, a husband, a leader?
The therapy component?
Yes.
So I think, because I'm always big on like being able to see my blind spots, right? So it's like, and we all got blind spots, right? At every
I'm gonna blind spots, bro. What you talking about?
Man, everybody gets
360 with this.
Man, we all got blind spots, right? So if somebody tells me I don't have blind spots, that means they got blind spots, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
that's like a show tell right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a show. So it's like for example, if you're in a jar, you can't see the label on the jar, right? If you're in the picture, you can't see the frame.
Yeah.
So it's like it's important to have that. And one of the reasons
so it's like you always have a blind spot.
You always got a blind spot at every level, right? Because again, because if there's something else to learn, if you believe that there is something else to learn, that means there's a blind spot. Where you see that there's something else to learn, but you don't know what that thing is yet, right? Or you don't know what it is because there's something else to learn. So that means you got a blind spot. And there's nothing wrong with having a blind spot. What's wrong is, well, I wouldn't even say wrong. To me, would be wrong for me is not acknowledging that I have a blind spot and then not seeking out knowledge or insight or wisdom to help me see the blind spot. So that's what got me down the therapy route. Because
So were you trying to figure out blind spot prior to therapy and it was unsuccessful?
no, so it's like, I think the blind spots that I was seeking was, of course, business, personal development. And here's the thing, with personal development, most people teach, positive thinking, things of that nature, right? I think a big challenge with the personal development stuff though, is that a lot of it prevents you from like doing the real work. Because if it's telling you to always focus on the positive, focus on this, focus on this, focus on the positive stuff, you start getting away from
Implementation
and this work that you're avoiding. Because you can medicate yourself with the positive stuff, but and not really, okay, why are you wired this way? Like, what's some of the stuff from you when you were a child? And really like doing some of the deep level work that we can medicate ourselves from and to like avoid with some of the raw stuff.
You think that's important to be able to tap into that level of your younger self and unlock that? Do you feel like that would prevent a business owner from being successful?
Yeah, I think I won't say it won't stop them from being successful. It just depends on what successful is, right? So a lot of people are entrepreneurs based on a trauma response.
Yeah.
So it's like because of, and they don't realize it, but because of like, they may have grew up in poverty.
I feel like that's part of the story too, yeah.
So they grew up in poverty, so as a trauma response, they never want to be in poverty again, so they started a business.
Yeah.
Or their parents told them that they were never going to do anything, they accomplished it. So now their thrive to make more money is just to prove to other people that they actually can accomplish stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's trauma.
Yeah.
Right. That's the stuff that has to be addressed. Otherwise, they'll continue to try to hit these different milestones, trying to prove something to people who don't even care. Right. And then you better sacrifice everything to prove to somebody who don't even care. And then you sacrifice the people who actually do care. Right. So it's like a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But this whole time, we're doing this as adults because when we were 4, somebody said something.
Yeah. Right. And that pattern got stuck in your brain.
Exactly. Or you're on Instagram busting it open because of the stuff that you dealt with when you were 4 or 5 years old.
You talking about busting down balloons open?
Nah, like people, like women, like so women, they could be, and it's fellas too, right? It's the same thing. It's like, so like for example, a lot of brothers I see sometimes, or even sisters, it's like they'll buy all the different stuff, have all the different flash and all that to cover up a lot of the insecurities, right? Because they feel like the things will make them cooler, but in reality, once you get the things, like you're still who you are, and you still got to look at that person every day and like know who you are, and the things don't cover that up.
Yeah, the things don't necessarily give you what you're searching for.
Yeah, and it's like even with money, it's like once you make all the money, then you stuck with all the problems money can't solve.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So some people are like, man, such and such made billions, man. Why they kill themselves? It's like, well, once they fixed the money thing, they were stuck with all the other problems.
Yeah, the money kind of distracted them from the other.
Yeah, money is just a band-aid.
Yeah, that's crazy. Money that's a nice band-aid.
Yeah, you know, you got to deal with all the other stuff now. So, but you got to be willing to like do that work.
Yeah.
Like, why do you operate the way you operate?
So what has kept you, investing in therapy, and what do you feel like some of your biggest personal breakthroughs have been?
So I think, man, so many. So why do I continue to invest? Because I think everything is an ongoing process. It's like working with a trainer. It's like when you work with you can go to the gym and work out on your own. But when you work with a trainer, the trainer gonna push you harder. The trainer gonna push you behind what you think is possible. Same thing with a therapist. Same thing with a coach, right?
Yeah.
So I think all entrepreneurs should have a coach and a therapist.
So let's give it right now. Starting a brand new business. I'm a brand new entrepreneur. What do you feel like some of the key components to have. So let's say they got a trainer, let's say they got a therapist, but what are some other like elements you feel like, maybe if you even started over and you had the resources to build, a stronger mindset, maybe a stronger, discipline, support system. Like, what do you feel like right now would be the perfect, support building blocks to have to position you to be successful? Because it's still not going to necessarily guarantee that you're going to be successful, but you'll have great support.
Yeah, I think having a therapist is a game changer, depending on where you are in your business. I think having an executive assistant, depending on what level of scale the business is, I think that's important. I think a trainer is good. I think if you're in a situation where you got like a solid lady in your life or significant other, like maybe ladies with a man or whatever, because is going to give you some balance and things of that nature. So I think stuff like that. I guess those were a few off the top of my head.
Yeah, I feel like I got everything except for the lady, bro.
There you go. Damn. There you go. You get ready.
You know what I'm saying? Listen to the podcast as you're watching right now. Leave a comment below.
Right. No, for sure.
Man, that's crazy, bro. So, can we talk some numbers?
Whatever you want to get into.
Okay, where? Okay, so, you built a pretty significant business. Mm-hmm. It's not, driven by your personal brand. Mm-hmm. So it's its own brand. Mm-hmm. You're independent of that. Yeah. There's an org going on. There's people in it. You got employees. Just run it. Where's some of the milestones you hit? Like, so, what was your first big month number? Like when you first started out, you hit this number. Maybe it was like, wow. And then like, what are some of the numbers you're doing consistently right now?
Yeah.
Monthly.
For sure. So I think for me, bro, it's like, here's a fascinating thing. When I start hitting all the numbers that I wanted to hit, I never, whether it was 10,000 a month, because of course that was the holy grail at one point.
Right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I just gotta get to 10K.
Yeah, so 10,000 a month to $100,000 a month or $1 million a month or whatever. It was like every time I hit the numbers, or every time we hit the numbers, we never really realized we hit numbers till after it was all.
So no scoreboard watching.
Yeah, we never even realized it.
Yeah.
So and then when we did realize it, we were just like, all right, and it will set a new goal.
Yeah, facts.
Right. So it's like money is always a moving target. So the thing that we track like crazy is like client success stories. Mm. Right. So that's why we always like, hey, 1 billion in client success. That's why you never see me like post out here's how much we made this month.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, it's one thing to be able to make a lot of money, but it's a whole other thing to be able to take what you learn and other people duplicate that. So I had a client message me this morning, and she was like, because her goal she'd been focused on this last 6 months was like to get $2 million in a day. So she messaged me this morning. It was like, I hit the $1 million in a day. Right. I had a client the other day. She was like, she, had her first 10,000, well, multiple, I think third $10,000 a day. Right. So it's like, those are the things that really get me excited to see the client win of them. Like, I got a client who's a doctor. She just loves being a doctor. That's the reason she still does it. But she works a business 3 days a week, and she's dwarfed her income as a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I got a client it's a couple, they were making like $4,000 a month, and they were working like $100 a week a piece. So there's like $200 a week to make $4,000. That's like $5 an hour. Now they make $300,000-$400,000 a month. They had conversations of like selling their business. Then they did like $2 million in one business last year, 1.5 in another business.
So that's really possible.
Yeah,
you can really hit these numbers in a month, in a week,
for sure,
in a day.
100%.
You got multiple people doing this.
Yeah,
multiple client success stories. Mm-hmm. We said $1 billion.
Yeah.
$1 billion in client success
stories. Yeah, $1 billion in client success stories.
So what is consistent among these clients? Because I know there's probably people watching now like that don't even make sense. Like, I'm making 5 figures in a year or 6 figures in a year. They talking about $1 million a day. Like, I can't fathom that. So how can someone do that? Like, what's the mechanism? Like, what's the strategy? Like, what do they need to be able to do something like that?
So I think the biggest thing is like really having the resilience to go forward. I think most people lack the resilience. Most people like, well, if I don't get it done in 90 days, then I'm gonna do a jump to this other thing. Or if I don't get it done this particular thing, most people they lack that. Most people lack that. I'm going to persist until I succeed. Right? Most people they put a timeline on themselves. So I read this quote one time and it said, "There's no unrealistic goals. There's only unrealistic timelines." Like any goal is possible. You got to just give yourself enough horizon to actually hit the goal, right? But a lot of times they put these. So, like for example, I was talking to a client one time and it was like mad because they didn't make. I think the goal was they set the goal for $1 million, and I was like, well, "How much did you end up doing?" It was like we ended up at 500,000, and they were upset. And I was like, "Well, were you making? Did you make $1 million last year?" And they were like, "Nah." And I was like, "How much did you make?" It was like 100. I'm like, "Well, why are you upset if you didn't make $1 million last year? You made 500." And I was like, "Well, I ain't think about it." Okay, so now it's like we're on track for the $1 million.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we'll beat ourselves up. But now they're like, okay, that makes sense. So a lot of times again, it's the resilience. Like, okay, if you don't hit the goal, would you be better? I was speaking to her. I was just in Illinois speaking at the event. I met this lady. She wants to build this school she wants to build this home for underprivileged youth. So she thinks she needs 500,000 to do it. So it's like, cool. And I was like, and she's a nurse. I was like, hey, have you ever thought about starting a coaching program to teach other nurses or teach other aspiring nurses what you've done? And she was like, no, I thought about that. And I was like, what if you did? Because she was looking for investors. I was like, what if you did that instead, and then you made the 500,000 through this coaching business and you use that to build a school? She's like, I never thought about it. And I was like, what if over the next year you created a $10,000 program and you sold $10,000 program, you sold what, 50? No, then that's 500. That's 10,000.
Yeah, 50.
Yeah, so 50. And I was like, what if you just focus on that? And she was like, well, is that possible? Do you think I can really do that in a year? And I was like, well, yeah, you can. But I was like, what if it took you 2 years? Would you be mad? And she was like, why not? And I was like, what if it took you 3 years? Would you be mad? And she was like, nah. And I was like, exactly. So the first step is to get going and then just say, okay, I'm going to persist until I succeed.
Yeah. Because
as long as you lock in, it's going to work out.
So, bro, you seem very mild, cool, calm. What gets you excited, happy, bro? Like what's turning up the energy?
Man. I mean,
I definitely gotta be family for sure.
Yeah, family for sure. Life, man. I mean, I could be in a whole. Man, most of the homies I grew up. I just had one of my homies who got murdered. 2 weeks ago. So a lot of my homies I grew up with dead in prison. So it's like life gets me excited. Waking up to do this on the shows, knowing somebody's going to hear this and it's going to shift them in some kind of way. So it's like life, man. Life, family, opportunity, yeah.
Right now, with the success that you have, the ability to travel, make impact, influence, inspire, you know what I mean? Have all of this client success. What's the challenge for you now? What's the goal for you now? Like what's on the board, the vision board, the goals chart? Like what would you like to see in life right now?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, so one of the things we're doing is like building up a portfolio of companies, like helping, taking equity in other companies and doing partnerships in other companies and like building out this portfolio of companies while growing our main. So I got our primary company, obviously, but also doing, equity deals and stuff like that. So that's one of the things we're doing on the business side.
Yeah.
Also, eventually we're in the process of, I want to eventually have like an entrepreneurship facility.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eventually. Also a school.
Yeah. Client attraction, wrestling needs to be accredited, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of big things on the horizon.
Yeah. That's something pretty smooth. What's up with all the green, bro?
The green, man,
Okay.
it's crazy, bro. So it's like when I was doing my music, I had an entertainment company. I told you about that. Our colors were green and gold then too. Well, first they were black and white, and then they were green and gold. So we just kind of
just went with it.
I mean, we just
Yeah. What does that exemplify to you? Is there anything behind the colors?
Well, green gold is wealth.
I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah. It's wealth,
man. So we talked about the impact you having with your clients, travel, new goals, a little bit of your past, some of the experience you're having right now. Obviously, you've experienced like your childhood friends, like you said, being locked up, passing away, things like that. What are some of the things that you do for yourself? I think is important, right? Because I know, like, you know, we talked about, like, you're a heavy reader, you know what I'm saying? So you're always expanding your mindset, growing your mindset. But, like, what are some of the other things you do to be whole, balance, you know what I'm saying, filling up your cup? Maybe some morning routine, maybe something you do monthly. Like what does that taking care of Marquel Russell look like?
So I would say learning, I'm a voracious reader, always consuming something. The gym, I got a trainer that I work with. I got to get back on the routine of doing it. But massage.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Float.
Yeah.
Have you ever floated before?
In a salt container?
Yeah, like salt water.
I did that once.
Yeah. So I do that. And last time I did it on Father's Day.
Yeah.
I used to do it once a week.
Have you plunged too?
I have like cold plunge.
Yeah.
I haven't cold plunged yet.
Okay. That's crazy. It just wakes you up.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. But yeah, that going to the movies, kicking with my kids, traveling.
Yeah.
You know, that type of stuff. Yeah. I got a pretty simple life for the most part.
Yeah. What are some of the maybe top 3 books you would recommend, and then what's really on what's the one book you're reading right now? Maybe it's Audible, maybe turning the pages, but what are 3 you would recommend, and what's one you're really into right now?
Recommend. So I would probably say because I know people gonna be listening at different levels, right? However, I'm gonna just name some that will be powerful at any level. So one is The War of Art.
The War of Art?
Yeah. Not The Art of War.
The War
of Art by Stephen Pressfield. That's probably my most recommended book. That one. A second one is Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah. Outwitting the Devil, yeah.
By Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. Another book is Ready, Fire, Aim. So business. If I use to give you a business book, Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson.
Yeah.
So I'll say those are the top. Those are 3 right off the top of my head. Another bonus one is probably gonna be more advanced, but some people's gonna be The Road Less Stupid.
The Road Less Stupid.
Yeah, by Keith Cunningham. What I'm reading right now, I'm actually listening to this book called Happy Money by Ken Honda.
Okay.
I just finished up 10X Better Than 2X, which was phenomenal. In the morning, I just moved, so I got my books all packed up, so I haven't been doing my morning stack, but in the morning, I got a stack of books that I go through in the morning, but they're typically all like, you know, one-pagers. So it's like devotionals, different devotionals. I got like 2 devotionals. I got the Daily Stoic, which is one book. I got the Daily Drucker, Peter Drucker, the Daily John Maxwell.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 page of each one. So it's like a stack of them. So it's like 6 or 7 books, but it's like a stack. But I haven't done it the past couple weeks because I had my stuff packed up.
Yeah. What got you reading, and what's the importance?
Again, man, that one question, bro. If you could have everything you wanted, like you would already have it in the way you think, would you already have it?
So
books on the cheat code, bro.
I was gonna say that, right? I feel like. So I was talking to a friend of mine, maybe I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what if the Bible was all of the answers to life, but it was in a book?
Yeah.
Because they knew people wouldn't read it.
Yeah.
And they wrapped it in religion because they knew it would detract a bunch of other people. So, it's like my brain. I was just thinking that the other day. I'm like, man, that sounds kind of profound.
And it actually is.
You know what I'm saying?
So the book, the Bible is a book with all the answers to the keys of life.
Right.
Business principles, relationship principles, health principles. I mean, it's there. Even when I was chatting with a brother the other day who's a Muslim, and he was like, it's the same exact principles in the Quran, right? But most people ain't gonna read it. So it's like people will be like, oh my God, you know, Think and Grow Rich, man, the principles in there are so profound. And it's like, well, yeah, they are, but the same principles in the Bible, right? So it's actually there, but we just don't read it. Like you said, we wrap it in religion, and then we create the friction, right? So now it's like, wow. But I like reading all types of stuff. So it's like one other thing that has some brilliant principles and some dope quotes is like the Bhagavad Gita, right? So it's
I think I know that one.
These are, I think it's the Hindu version of the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
The Bhagavad Gita, Bhagad. People who listen to me, if you Hindu, like, please, no disrespect. But it's dope though, like it's super dope principles. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, man, everybody's saying the same thing. Like we just created religion to create all the disconnects.
That's a fact, man. So I got another question for you, and then I'm gonna let you let people know where they can find you, how they can tap in, anything you got currently going on, and everything like that. So, what question, if you could ask anyone, dead or alive, would you ask, and who would you ask it to?
What question, if you could ask anybody dead or alive, what's the question I'd ask them?
And who would you ask?
That's a very interesting question. Tupac.
What would you ask?
I'd ask, what was the reasoning to make the shift from Brenda's Got a Baby, Tupac, to Hit 'Em Up, Tupac?
Yeah, that's
Like why?
I want
Why?
those answers too.
Like why, right? Because it's like, if you know Brenda's Got a Baby, Pac, right? You notice there's a totally different Pac than the Hit 'Em Up Pac. So like, what happened, right? Because like, what happened? Because like, dude is brilliant. If you think about it, man, Pac got killed when he was 25, man.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he like lived 4 lives.
Yeah.
25.
And if you a Pac fan like I was, like the first album I bought was All Eyes on Me, right?
That was when I started. That's when I liked him. I didn't like him before.
It was a tape. I had to buy it.
It was a double tape.
I had to get somebody in the mall to buy it for me. And I was young, I couldn't buy it. You know, because they had the labels on it, you couldn't buy it. So I had to get somebody to buy it for me. So it was just profound. So I'm like, why? What made you do that? Because it's like, if you're in this Pop, you know that this personality, when he got killed, wasn't Pop.
Yeah.
It was a character. You know what I'm saying? So I think he got caught up in the character, and that's when things went
The other way.
Yeah. I was like, why? Like, do you? Yeah.
Okay. Now I like that.
Cause Pac was more on some J. Cole type
Poetry.
back then.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Expanding the mind.
Then he went like
Militant.
NWA type.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, I want to know why was it?
And his mom was a Panther.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So he had that fabric.
Yeah. And like, why go that route? And then he was so brilliant, but he didn't have the business side taken care of. So, and that was my question. That was an interesting question.
Yeah, that was good, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who for you?
Man, that's a good one. So recently, this is interesting. So recently, have you ever watched the Elvis movie?
Nah.
Okay, it's a dope movie. If you ever have time,
It's on Netflix?
it's just called Elvis.
Okay, cool.
I'll recommend it. It's very entertaining. It gave me a whole nother outlook on Elvis.
Okay.
So I watched the movie. I was like, damn, I like Elvis now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So next time I went to Vegas, I was like checking out all the Elvis. Like the hotel that he actually was like in for 7 years, performing for 7 years, like over 600 nights. That hotel still exists. It got rebranded, but I had the opportunity to check it out because it's still there. So I think the question I would ask is, this would be to Elvis. Why were you afraid to go after another one of your dreams, which was to perform internationally? He didn't perform internationally. He performed in America exclusively. He was in a bad contract with someone, and they just kept blackmailing him. So one of his biggest dreams was just go perform, like in Japan and other countries.
Yeah.
And like they would run him like a workhorse. So like he was on morphine and all types of drugs and stuff like that. So that's the question I have is like, you've accomplished so much. Like he really helped out, like, you know, he really introduced like black culture to the masses because he was able to, he grew up around black people and he grew up in a black church. So he was able to kind of take the rhythms, the vibrations. I mean, you talked in the beginning of the podcast, like all of that energy. And then like they were treating him like he was black. Like they was like, yo, you gotta go to, jail or the army, you can't be gyrating like you can't be this ain't art. You can't do that. You acting like them. Like nah, we ain't letting that rock. You know, like they was pulling him off stage. You know what I'm saying? So after everything he been through, all the barriers he broke, you know what I mean, becoming such an iconic, you know, person in music and just in the world in general. Why was he afraid to break away out of that deal and chase that dream of going and to perform overseas? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he passed away in his early 40s because of, you know, drugs. Like overdose. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Crazy.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yo, it's a really good. It's a really good movie. It got me interested because I was on a plane and I was sitting next to someone and he was watching it and I can't hear it, but just like the visuals, I'm like, man, that's the Elvis movie?
Right.
Like I was like, go watch this right now. So I just threw my headphones on. I was watching it right next to him. It's a really dope joint. I think it's like 2 hours. It's entertaining. Tells a good story. You might have an even different perspective on him as well, but I learned a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Well, contracts is all crazy.
Yeah.
But also, the dude who's had him under this crazy contract, he was a really good marketer. So what he would do is, he actually started his career like in mobile circus. But then since that game was kind of like not really profitable after a while, he kind of shifted to like country music. So he would actually he would find artists and he would take them to different cities. So he would do his own tour. You know what I'm saying? And then he was introduced to Elvis, and then he kind of added him as like an opener to like this popular country singer at the time, who was cool, but he just wasn't drawing the crowds. He threw Elvis on there, young dude with the energy, you know what I'm saying? With the culture now, influence, he was just going crazy. He was putting girls in trances with like the dances. You know what I'm saying? They was just falling out. Like Michael Jackson style. Crazy.
Check him out.
Yeah. So that would be my question at this moment. It was just in my head the whole time. Because when I went to the hotel, I was feeling bad. I'm like, damn, bro, like you never got a chance to like fly out and like perform. Like he's probably low key depressed.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? He had like ended up getting divorced, had this big old house, had everything, and then it's just by himself.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Bro, I'm extremely appreciative to spend this time with you.
Likewise.
You know, I'm excited for everything you have coming out, everything that you're creating, you know, everything that you're building, the people that you continue to inspire. I know you're about to, you know, have 2 billion in client success stories real soon.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I'm excited for that as well. So people that are tapping in, that are listening, that are watching, they want to learn more about you. They want to ask you some questions. They want to maybe take advantage of one of your free trainings, masterclass. Where do they go? What do they need to do?
I would say go to paidadplaybook.com.
That's a good one.
Yeah, go to paidadplaybook.com.
That's a good one.
Yeah, go to PAID at playbook.com. Go register. It's 100% free. Shows you how to get 50 to 100 leads every single day for your business. That actually convert into clients. So that's 100% free. We have an event. I'm not sure when you see this, but if you go to scalethesmartway.com, you can get registered for one of our upcoming events as well.
And is that virtual or in person to scale?
It's a virtual event.
Okay, dope. How often are you doing those for the people?
It depends, right? So that's why I said it depends on when they're watching. It depends on if we do it. So you can go there. However, the Paid Ad Playbook will definitely be here. We got an event coming up, like in person, but I don't know when they're going to see this. So if they go to paidadplaybook.com, they'll get on the list. So that's the ecosystem. They can get in there to be.
Yeah. Because I'm on a text message list, and I'll be getting the text, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
They be coming.
For sure.
It's coming, bro.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, it's been another episode of the Honor Pursuit Podcast with Mr. Marquel Russell, the king of client attraction. Giving a lot of game. We talked about mindset. We talked about his story. You know, we went into how you could generate leads with money and generate leads without money, and he answered and asked an amazing question on Tupac, which I thought was pretty dope, man. So yeah, I'm very, very thankful. Thanks again for coming on the pod. Look forward to doing another one soon.
Let's do it.
Listen, man, and you guys make sure you follow him and get to the paidadplaybook.com. Grab that Paid Ad Playbook. I'm telling you, it's pretty serious.
For sure.
All right, let's go.
Appreciate you, Brian.